Hello, I am Wallas, the Polish toy guy. Welcome to my new experimental toy review. I hope you will enjoy this style. Also, if you want, subtitles are available in the closed caption menu. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Nintendo, the biggest Japanese video game maker, and Bandai, the biggest Japanese collector toy maker, joined their forces? One of the results of such alliance is this toy, this year's S.H.Figuarts Super Mario. I don't think there is any need to introduce the mustache-wielding plumber who's been living in entertainment devices all over the world for more than 30 years to audience such as this. So instead, let's briefly explain what's the story behind S.H.Figuarts. Existing under the collector-aimed Tamashii Nations brand, SHF summons popular characters from the world of pop culture into the real world as small, superposable action figures that not only look just right, but are designed to recreate the most memorable poses and gimmicks of their source material. Right off the bat, it must be mentioned that the majority of figures in this line make their debut with a $40 to $50 price tag due to high functionality and quality. As a result, some may find it fishy that even upon his release, Mario costed only around $25. Unfortunately, there is a reason for this, but we will come to that later. Once our aficionado of princesses and spaghetti escapes his cardboard plastic prison, we are greeted with an adorable 3.5-inch figure that can't be mistaken for any other character from Nintendo's realm. Blue overpants, red blouse and hat, and a mustachy joyful smile. That is Mario without a doubt. And that's a well-made material-wise Mario too. Yes, a careful eye will spot some after-production marks here and there, but these aren't blatantly visible at first sight. So, if one is ready to accept body proportions typical for this character, the first impression should be nothing but positive. As it was said before, the selling point of SHF and its sister lines is a wide range of motion, and Mario does his best to fit in. Though, due to his virtual counterpart's visual design, he's not faring too well in that department. Robot and suit of armor figures have it easier. Their mechanical nature allows for easy insertion of various types of joints without affecting their overall looks. It is slightly more tricky for human figures, but with thoughtful sculpting and coloring, it is possible to make the joints look decent. But in case of Mario and his dwarf-like proportions, you need a completely new level of skills to give him superposability and not mess up his appearance. Sadly, it seems the designers still haven't reached that level. Compared to other offerings from this and similar lines, Mario's range of motion is simply poor and even worse, dictated by the desire to maintain his present, almost cartoony look, which would surely take a heavy hit from attempts to install more advanced joints into the figure. As a result, putting him into a plausible stance other than standing or sitting is almost impossible. It gets slightly better once he is airborne, but you need a separate display stand for that, and Mario doesn't even sport a built-in or equipable attachment point for one. Only gripping clamps can save him, but then again, not all stands on the market have such clamps. Accessories sold with Mario don't make much of a difference. Along with him we receive A big, yellow and very hollow item block which can only lay on the ground and optionally serve as a table. B, a red growth-inducing mushroom that, while looking very nice, serves no purpose. Finally, we have C, vacuum metallized golden coin, which perhaps attracts the most attention but can't stand properly without an included plug-in micro sport base. And how exactly does Mario interact with these parts? Sadly, in no way at all. There's nothing he can do with them, except for maybe using them as a podium or background fillers. This is really disappointing, seeing how accessories for other toys in this and similar lines can boost their play value considerably. Here, it's easy to assume these pieces are in the set only because Mario is often seen next to them in the games. This means this figure is interesting only in terms of visuals, and even then not as much as its siblings, so the market for Mario may not be as wide as the character's name might imply. And now, let's touch upon this figure's greatest weakness. It has a much bigger potential. but to tap into it, one needs to buy expansion packs, sold separately for a price just barely lower than Mario himself. I have nothing against the booster sets for toys. They are present in the collector world since days long ago, and even I have a few of them. But they usually merely expand the already satisfying innate functionality achieved through parts sold together with the figure. Here it is easy to feel like a suckered customer who bought a game that will go beyond the start screen only after getting several pricey DLC packs. You want to see Mario in proper aerial pose? Buy bonus set A that has a display adapter and base for the job. You want open grabbing hands for the plumber? Buy bonus set B. You want to have Mario surrounded by a scenery that's almost literally ripped out of the very games? Buy everything. Bandai most likely took a religious approach to this figure. It should be a very personal experience for which every believer has different expectations. So instead of throwing everything available into one basket, the possibilities were split into 3 separate sets so that everyone can pick the desired bits according to their wishes. The problem is, one swiftly realizes that to achieve full satisfaction with this toy, one needs all sets. Why create an illusion of a choice then, when clearly there is only one right direction? Fans of the character longing for this figure would pay the combined cost of the whole bundle without a blink anyway. To sum this review up, it's difficult for me to call this set a complete one because without its DLCs, it's very poor and lacks lots of functionality. First-hand experience quickly taught me that S.H.Figuarts Super Mario is worth of owning only when we have everything there is for him. Without that, it's just not the same.